Entrepreneurs don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they chase too many opportunities at one time.
Welcome to Success Spectrum Podcast, where new entrepreneurs break free from limiting beliefs, build unshakable financial confidence, and step boldly into the life and business they were meant to create.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Success Spectrum Podcast, sponsored by Apex Affiliation. I'm your host, Kadeem McLean. Now, this month in January, we talked about why doing more slows you down. And last week, we talked about why clarity comes from decisions and feedback, not overthinking. Today, we're going to talk about what quietly kills momentum for a lot of entrepreneurs, and it did for me in the past as well. And that is chasing too many opportunities at the same time. Now, opportunities itself, not a bad thing, but unmanaged opportunity becomes a liability. Listen, I'm giving away a free Pixel 10 Pro XL, not because of Valentine's Day, but because this season is about upgrading your life. You can gift it to someone you care about, or you can finally gift yourself an upgrade. You can enter for free by following Apex Affiliation on Instagram and commenting Apex on the giveaway post. You can earn additional entries by working with me through Apex Self-Mastery or supporting the book Wings of Abundance on Amazon. The giveaway ends February 14th and the winner will be announced on February 16th. For full details, click the link in the description or check the caption below. And until then, keep evolving. So today we're going to talk about how to tell the difference between a good opportunity and the right one. Because not all good opportunities are the opportunity for you. A good opportunity might be a great opportunity even. It could be great, it could be good, it could be whatever, but it might not be for you. And there's reasons behind that because it might not be aligned with where you're going. It's not on the path that you are walking down. It might be a great opportunity for me and I'll take it because it's in alignment, but it might not be for you, right? So again, just because it's a good or great opportunity doesn't mean it's the one for you. Timing matters as well in this case, because if you're a new entrepreneur, what are you doing putting $40,000 into marketing when you don't even have a target audience yet? You don't even have a product defined yet. You don't know who you're reaching out to, the mission or the vision for your company, but you're putting $40,000 into marketing. Who are you marketing to? You're just wasting money, throwing money at a problem, thinking that will solve it, and it's not going to. The timing is wrong. Timing matters just as much as the potential. And in that case, again, the timing is off. This could work. Doesn't mean that this should happen now. Right? This could work, but that doesn't mean it should work right now or it should happen for you right now because the timing is important. So a good opportunity in the wrong season, that just becomes a distraction and it can become a drain of your resources. So again, it can drain resources, but the real cost isn't just time. Time is very important. However, there's also a cost to your trajectory. Are you on the right path? Are you moving in the right direction? Because if you're not, you'll waste more than just time. You'll waste resources. As I said, throwing $40,000 at a marketing problem when that's not really the problem. The problem is that you don't know your target audience. Now, opportunity cost isn't just what you give up. It's what you never build because you keep switching. If you're digging a hole and you only have an hour to dig a hole, if you dig one hole, you can get pretty deep. However, if you dig multiple holes in that 1 hour, none of those holes are going to be deep. You keep going back to the ground level. You're not giving anything a chance to compound. If you constantly switch to 5 different things, you're not going to get deep in one industry. You're not going to be known very well in one industry, in one thing. You're going to be known as a quote unquote jack of all trades. However, again, if you dig deep in this one area, you can be known as the go-to person, the guru, if you want to call it that, the person who knows what they're talking about in this specific thing. But if you're building or digging, again, those 5 different holes or those multiple holes in that 1 hour, you might be kind of known, but you'll never be very well known in any specific area. So again, it's about building depth versus constantly restarting from the ground level, because opportunity cost isn't just what you lose today. It's what you never become tomorrow, because you're not, I don't want to keep saying the word, but you're not going down the right path. You're not aligned with where you say you want to go. You're choosing opportunities that are quote unquote the wrong opportunity. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of entrepreneurs, they mistake optionality, having options, for strategy, because keeping doors open, it feels smart, but having all these options without any commitment, it equals drift. For anybody who used to go to Blockbuster, right? You used to go to Blockbuster and you had a few movies in mind, but let's just say this particular time you have 10 movies that you want to check out and see if Blockbuster has it that you might want to rent to watch. And you expect this trip to take you 30 minutes. Get to Blockbuster, pick your one or two movies, and head back home. But you have 10 choices. If you sit in there with all of your options and you constantly try to decide and you don't commit to one or two movies like you said you were going to, you can be in there for hours, not pick a movie, maybe end up picking a movie after the 1 or 2 hours eventually. But because you took so long to commit, your movie night is done. You spent hours in there. Now it's bedtime. You missed your movie night because you drifted. You didn't pick a movie. You didn't make a decision and commit to one. And therefore, there was drift. You spent so much more time in there than you needed to. You thought it was smart going in there and having these 10 different options, but it wasn't. It wasn't strategic. There is something called strategic flexibility, sure, but there's also something called chronic indecision. And in that case, it's chronic indecision. Strategic flexibility is, okay, I'm going to leave a few options open. These are all in alignment, but I will come back to these things and I will say no to everything else because these one or two decisions, these are the things that are in alignment and these are the things that could work for me. So take a look at those and understand the difference, because if chronic indecision, I'll say, is often based on emotion, right? Maybe you've been indecisive your whole life. Maybe you're constantly indecisive in multiple areas of your life. What are we going to eat for dinner? What are we going to eat for lunch? What time are we going to the movie? What business should I start? The whole 9 yards, right? In the smallest things and in the big things. Indecisive, chronic indecision. However, strategic flexibility is more so based on the logic as opposed to the emotion. Another example would be pivoting versus panicking. If you're panicking, you're in your emotions. You are in your emotions. However, if you are pivoting, you've looked at everything logically to say, okay, you know what? These 5-10 years in this thing hasn't been working the way I wanted it to work. I've made adjustments along the way. I've constantly reflected and done what I could. It's time for me to make a pivot. And that's perfectly fine because you did your due diligence. You looked at it from a strategic and logical lens, not just an emotional lens. Because otherwise, just emotion, you're likely panicking. Again, it can feel smart leaving all these options open, but optionality, it feels like it protects you from being wrong, but really it keeps you from being right about anything. Yes, okay, technically it protects you from being wrong, but it also protects you or keeps you from being right about anything because you're not making a decision.
What if shopping could earn you cash instead of just costing you? You've been stuck in the cycle, tap, swipe, spend, watching your paycheck just disappear. But one day, after you stumbled onto this app called Rakuten, you ask yourself, why am I paying full price when I don't have to? But then you think, maybe it's just another gift. Then one of your friends tell you about this app called Rakuten, who makes them money and gives them cash back and rewards for thousands of stores every time they make a purchase that they were made anyway. You try it once, you discover hidden deals, compare prices, and you start winning. Shopping becomes a strategy. Every tap pays you back, and you still get what you want. You share Rakuten with your friends, watch your income grow, and become more financially confident. Download the Rakuten app today and keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket.
And I understand because saying no sometimes can feel like you're losing. However, we need to reframe saying no as it's protecting your yes, right? We want to say no and make sure it doesn't feel like we're losing. But no is just not now. It's not never. It's just not right now. This thing does not align. It's not in this season of my life. This decision, this choice, this option does not work for me. Maybe we'll come back to it in a few years. Maybe we'll come back to this marketing idea once I have my ducks in a row, if you will. I know my target audience. I know my mission. I know my vision. I know who I'm aiming to help, how I'm aiming to help them. And they've told me basically that this is how they would like to be helped based on some studies, or you looked on your own, did some research, some market research, and this is who I'm helping and this is how I need to help them. Now I can put some money into marketing. Do I need to start with 40? No, maybe you start with 2. Maybe you start with $2,000. Maybe start with $5,000. Maybe start smaller. Test it out. See if it works before you put $40,000 into it and you don't have a product or solution or your target audience, because that is a waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources, and it's the wrong season for you. But you don't say, no, I'm never going to do marketing. You say, I'm not going to do marketing right now because I need to go back to the drawing board. You're not rejecting the opportunity. You're simply curating your direction and saying, okay, this is where I need to go. But before that, I got a few steps I've got to do. right? That being said, there's weight that sits on you when you leave options open. When you leave options open, you do not decide. There's a psychological weight, whether you know it or not, that sits on you because you have to make a decision, but you haven't yet made one. And it constantly replays in your brain. I know I've had this many times, and I know you've probably felt this or experienced this before as well. So that's why it's important to understand that every opportunity you haven't committed to is quietly draining your decision energy. Now, throughout listening to this, you may feel like removing these options is going to limit you, but it's not about limiting you. It's about protecting your momentum and making sure the things that we say yes to, first of all, we're protecting our yes, but the things that we do say yes to, it's the right season, it's the right time, and it's in alignment. It's the right next step for you. So there's three questions you can ask to help you to make that decision. A 3-question opportunity filter. Question number 1 is, does this deepen what I'm already building, or does it start something new? And this will tell you if saying yes to this thing, accepting this opportunity, will compound your efforts, or if it'll be a reset. Question 2 is, would I still want this if it took 2 years to pay off? This will show you your commitment. Are you committed, or are you just excited? Because if it's going to take 2 years and you say, I don't want that, it's going to take too long, that's just because you're just excited right now in the moment. So take some time to pause and come back to it later, maybe, to see if that commitment is there or if it's just excitement again. And the third question is, if I said yes to this, what would I have to pause or stop? This shows you the cost. It makes it very visible. What is the opportunity cost of this thing? What do I have to let go? What do I have to put to the side? What do I have to pause or completely say no to and never come back to because I'm saying yes to this opportunity? See, again, we talked about excitement versus commitment. Though this may sound strange to some of you, the best opportunity is not the one that excites you the most. It's the one that compounds what you're already committed to. Because chasing opportunities is not what builds a business. It's committing to the right one, committing to the right opportunity. That's what helps you to build your business. So this week, the action step I'd like you to take is to use that 3-question filter for one opportunity that you've been considering. And if it doesn't pass all 3 questions or all 3 filters, you got to pause it. Pause it, stop it, don't come back to it, whatever the case is. But take a real look at it after you go through that 3-question filter. So this month in January, we covered direction, we covered focus, we covered decisions, and we covered opportunity. Progress doesn't come from doing everything. Remember, it comes from doing the right things long enough for them to compound. If you don't do it long enough, you don't stick to it, you're not committed to it, it will not compound. But with all these options, with all these, options on your plate, if you will, it's difficult. It can be difficult to do alone. I get it, right? Making these decisions, knowing which route to go, and so choosing the right thing, it's difficult. And again, that's where coaching comes in. I remember I had so many things on my plate, and I sat with a few coaches, and I got some feedback. It helped me to decide and know what I'm supposed to do. So if you're looking for some coaching, for some help on that as well, and you want to know what really deserves your energy, go ahead and check out my Apex Self Mastery service below. And hey, I'll give you a secret. There's a giveaway going on. Don't tell everybody, but there's a giveaway going on. Free phone giveaway. You can check the details below how to enter that giveaway. So the final takeaway here is, you do not build momentum by chasing opportunities. You build momentum by committing long enough for that progress to compound. And always remember, success is not a destination. It is a spectrum. So keep evolving. Kadeem here, and I'll see you in the next one.